If I want to put a crystal over your door or carry them in my purse or wear an evil eye on my wrist, and that makes me feel safe and that makes me feel better and I'm not hurting anybody, why is it bothering you so much?
Mhm,
And it's just because it's different than what she grew up with. And it's not so much what I've taught her, but what she's learned outside of our house and other people. I guess
mhm.
she's worried about what people will think of her because of what her mama does.
Welcome to Big Crystal Energy, Season 3, the Veil Season. I'm Ashley, and I live at the threshold between medicine and magic, between the visible world and what waits just beyond it, between the person I present and the witch I am. I've learned something. The in-between isn't a problem to solve. It's a place of power. This season, we're exploring the veil, where Victorian women spoke for the dead, where fairies guard the crossroads, where glamour becomes armor, where you stop apologizing for being both things at once. The crystals have always known the way through. Let me show you. Welcome back to Big Crystal Energy. I'm Ashley, your friendly neighborhood mystic by night. Today, I'm sharing a special crossover. I hopped on Ghost Gossip podcast with the host, Ashley. Yes, two Ashleys, just spelled differently, for a crystals meet ghosts conversation that was equal parts heartfelt and hilarious. We talked haunted houses, protection practices, choosing crystals intuitively, and why being a little occult doesn't mean scary. It means hidden, and sometimes that's where the magic lives. Enjoy the episode and show Ghost Gossip some love after you listen.
This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ghost Gossip. Today, there are two Ashleys in the house. You have Ashley with Ghost Gossip, and you have Ashley with Big Crystal Energy. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad we finally are able to do this.
Me too. I love it. Crystals and ghosts. What could be
Absolutely.
better?
Nothing.
Nothing. And your guests are probably like crystals and ghosts. Like, how does that work? But let me tell you, it does. So,
And I believe her. Wholeheartedly. I think they do go hand in hand sometimes.
absolutely. Well, I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here. The moment I stumbled upon your Instagram account, I was like, I like her.
Just two silly Ashleys out there in the world, moms, podcasters, doing the thing. It's super fun. I love it. I know. I felt the same way about you.
I'm so glad. Isn't it funny? You just like stumble upon people and you're like, there's something about them I really like.
I know it's been really wild, especially doing podcasting and like having to put yourself out there and connect with people. And to me, that wasn't always something that was very natural necessarily. So it's been really cool.
Same. I am painfully introverted at times.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah, I can be too. It's a muscle that I've definitely had to work. Like I've had to really train myself. I mean, I work with the public every day, of course, but like I've had to really train myself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And ultimately, like it's been such a blessing.
Yes. I was the same way. It was kind of one of those things. I would look at my job when I was working full time and it was like, this is my acting career. I would go to work, I would put on my extroverted self and I would work and I would do a kick-ass job. And then I would go back home and I'd leave and I'd be introverted again. And I'd be like, okay, now I'm home.
I know it's hard too, though. I mean, you have kids, I have kids. Like my life, it's like I grew up an only child, so I really love my alone time. And now I feel like I never have
Yes.
alone time.
Mhm.
And that's very challenging at times.
Yes. How do you have more than one?
I have two little boys. One's
Two little
going to
boys.
be 9 this week and one's 3.5.
Happy birthday to him.
I know. He's my, he was like straight out the gates. That child was like into skeletons, into ghosts. Like he loved going to cemeteries, like right out the gate. And so we just became like this big Halloween family. And then it's just been like this for years. And now everybody knows us as like the Halloween family and the skeleton family. And so, I mean, I think that's part of my journey, but like, I mean, that's part of it, but not 100%. So it's a lot of fun.
I love it. Yeah, I was like a closeted Halloween person. Like I kept my weirdness at bay, but then when I stopped working, I was just like, I'm weird.
All my coworkers know me. They're like, you're doing what now?
Yeah, pretty much. You have a what podcast?
I
What?
love it. That's so cool.
So how did you get started? I know you're multifaceted from what I see on social media. You have a lot of different areas that you are interested in. Like, how did you get started?
Okay, so I mean, like ever since I can ever remember, I've been very into magic and witchy things and crystals, and a lot of it started back when I was in college. But, a lot of times we feel very open and receptive to things during our college years. We're exploring new things. And then I decided, I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, I grew up in Nebraska, and my biggest goal in life was to get out of Nebraska. That's all I knew. I had to get out of the Midwest. So I went to college and I knew I had to get a good job and I knew I had to be able to afford life and all the things. So I decided to go. Well, I'm a physician assistant. I do orthopedic surgery. I do orthopedic surgery by day, and I'm a mystic by night.
Love it.
I went to medical school. I went to PA school. And, you just get kind of caught up in life. Like you just
Yeah.
I was like, well, I gotta do this and I gotta go to get a job and I have to pay my bills and I'm gonna do, I just got really wrapped up in my career. And then, I mean, and I always had this love for these things all these years. I loved crystals. I would always want to go to metaphysical shops when we would be out, but it wasn't just like this sole focus for me. And then I had my first son. So he's 9 now, almost 9. And, we had him, and then we thought we only wanted one baby. After a few years, we changed our mind. We decided we wanted a second child, and then the road to having a second baby wasn't very easy. And I had several losses, and then postpartum, I was an older mom. I didn't have my second child until I was 40. And then I went through a really challenging postpartum period. And it was during that really challenging period that I had gone on this girls trip to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we were in these art galleries and these wineries. And I went into this room and there was this bowl of these celestite crystals. I'll pull up. Where is my celestite? Celestite is this gorgeous blue, very magical, ethereal blue. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I needed it. And I got some Palo Santo on that trip. And I came back home and I really started meditating with it and burning my Palo Santo and just knowing something in my life needed to change. And truthfully, ever since I started doing that, literally everything changed. And within now it's been 3.5 years, 100% my life is completely different. And I truly believe it's because of the crystals.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love my crystals. I have them all over the place. That's my biggest one right there.
Yeah. I mean, you have is that a selenite tower in the back?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it was crazy. And so it was I was at this turning point in my life where I had everything I wanted. I had a beautiful career. I have a beautiful husband. I had 2 children, 2 little boys, everything I could want, but I was very depressed and I was very miserable. And I knew that there was something more inside of me and I was meant for more. So I really decided to pursue the crystal path. And I decided that I wanted to start collecting more stones. I wanted to do some training. I did some crystal healing training and it really sent me down about a million rabbit holes. And then I had all this knowledge and I thought to myself, well, I have all this knowledge and I don't necessarily want to work as a crystal healer. That just didn't feel quite right to me. So I decided to start a podcast and now here we are. The podcast will be 2 years in March.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been so fun.
Yes. Yes. I love
a true
crystals.
joy of my life. I just got back from a weekend in Napa with my girlfriends. It was so fun. We had a lot of good wine. And I can tell you, my brain was I was a little brain fog this morning after all that wine over the weekend.
Oh, I want to go to Napa. I've never been to California.
Oh man, there is something Napa, I would say, is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning, but it's very expensive.
I bet. Yeah.
And there's a lot of great wine areas that are not quite so expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
after a few tastings, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it all kind of tastes the same. So my
Like a
friends
big
are like,
guy,
oh, this
like a big
one is
guy.
so creamy and this one is, I'm like, you guys, it all tastes the same.
That's what my husband will circle it in his glass and
Yeah.
sniff it. And I'm like, go, fine to me.
Tastes pretty good to me.
Can I have more? I'm done.
Yeah. Is he a wine drinker?
No, he's more of a whiskey person.
Okay.
But when we do go to wineries, he will adapt to the atmosphere. And I'm like, tastes good. I like it. So what are your favorite crystals? Where did you begin other than the one you just showed me was do you have go-tos?
Oh, I have favorites. I'll share
Okay.
my favorites. Okay.
Yes.
So my favorites may be things that people have heard of and maybe not heard of. Okay, so every year I pick a crystal of the year, and my crystal of the year is emerald. And I think most people have seen emerald. You know, it's that classic green.
Mhm.
But my other favorite green crystal is a stone called dioptase. And dioptase is kind of
Oh.
like emerald. It's very dark green and it's very sparkly, but it's very rare. The crystals are very tiny. So unlike emerald, where you can easily make jewelry and rings and earrings and things out of it, this one you cannot make jewelry out of it very easily. So, and it's very expensive. So, this is probably like the biggest piece that I have, and it's just like on a stone matrix. But I just love that dark green. It just feels
Mhm.
so like magical and amazing. It's really good for like emotional healing and being present. And one thing that I like about it is one of the things that I've been kind of thinking about a lot this year is that why do we save dressing up only for special occasions? And why do we only save that outfit for that special moment or whatever? Like every day is a day to celebrate. So
Mhm.
for me, dioptase is like one of those stones, like every day is a day to celebrate.
I love it. And speaking of
Yeah.
fashion, you have fabulous fashion.
Well, thank you. You know, honestly, it's something that I've really put some effort into.
Mhm.
You know,
I
as
can tell.
moms, we get kind of used to the mom uniform. I mean, I had
Yes.
my mom uniform, leggings and a t-shirt and sweatshirt, and then I decided that I really wanted to put some effort into it. And I've realized that sometimes putting on a nicer outfit is actually not that much more time consuming than putting on leggings and a sweatshirt. So,
No, and then when you feel fierce, it
yes.
shows.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
yes.
agree. I
Absolutely.
love me some fashion, but I will say having to dress up for 15 years and be in the courtroom for 10 of those years, was it 10? It was roughly about that time. I love wearing my hoodies and my leggings now,
Oh,
but when
for
it's time to
sure.
go out, watch out. That's right.
Boom.
Here
See,
I
and
come.
that's kind of like the opposite of me. Like I pretty much always just wear scrubs to work.
Right.
You know, I mean, they make cuter scrubs now. I mean, they
Yeah.
have more fashionable ones now than back when I first started working. But, you know, it's like I would wear the same thing every day. So then it's nice when I have a day off. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I can be kind of more like a little bit cuter today." And it always feels good.
Well, I absolutely agree. And you're like talking about that crystal, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like something I need, but too bad it's so expensive because I would just cover it in my body and be like, be more
Oh,
present.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is very special and it's very hard to come by. You have to like look for it specifically because they don't really sell the dioptase, the green one that I just showed you. That
Mhm.
one is very special. Like, typically, if you have a local metaphysical shop or a crystal shop that is near you, they may have like one piece in their special kind of like their locked cabinet or something like
Right.
that. But typically, it's not just something that they're going to have on the floor. But you know, I have a lot of other crystals that I really connect with and I really love, and most of them are quite simple to find. I mean, even my celestite here, I mean, you can usually find these in crystal shops, and it's not too expensive, but it's so beautiful. I mean, I have the little piece that I have there. I also have like a big
Oh,
like a big carved heart. I love this is like a geode, so the
yes.
back is like kind of more like a rock, but then they crack it open, they cut it open, and then inside
Yes.
the crystal forms. And then I love when they shape it into a heart or something. I just think that's so gorgeous. And then it looks so beautiful on your desk, or you have it on display in your home. And then it just has that lovely energy.
Mhm.
And I love
Yes.
that. Other popular stones that I love, just simple things like just your regular purple amethyst.
Mhm.
I call amethyst like the gateway crystal. Most
Yes. I
people
have
know
a
what
few
amethyst
pieces.
is. Yeah, most people know what amethyst is. They've seen it. They know it's purple. It's beautiful. It's readily available. You can actually get really nice big pieces for your home for display, and they're not overly expensive. It's very accessible for a lot of people. So it's a great place to start. But truthfully, it's just one of my favorites. You can't go wrong with it. I would say another big favorite of mine would be labradorite.
Oh, yes.
And labradorite, once again, it's pretty accessible, but it's a stone of intuition. It's
Mhm.
kind of like it's like this stone of like psychic abilities, and I just
I
think
love
it's
that one. I have a
so
tower.
magical,
Yep.
right? And that flash, right? Like I have another
Mhm.
piece that has, instead of it being a blue flash, it's a purple flash, and it's like the magic comes like from deep within inside, and I just think there's something so like hidden and mystical about that. And it just makes me excited every time I see it.
I love it. You get excited about crystals like I get excited about ghost stories. I love it.
It's so cool. I get excited about ghost stories too, though. It's so fun.
You just went to New Orleans too.
I did. It was oh my gosh. Yeah. I just went to New Orleans. Actually, just booked another trip to New Orleans earlier today. Not
I
until
love New
next year,
Orleans.
2027. But Yeah, New Orleans is it's very spooky. Have you been there?
I lived there when I was growing up.
You did?
Yeah, I was little though. Like I moved when I was 8.
It's such a beautiful place. There's just so much history there. You could have a spooky ghosty encounter there, or you could just be there to learn about the history. And,
Yes.
there's just so many things. I love New Orleans. I love it there. It's just the architecture and the whole vibe is fantastic.
The cemeteries are beautiful. Just all of the mausoleums and all of how it's almost like a forest of graves sometimes. I mean, it is
Oh,
a different vibe.
my best friend and I, we went together and we did a cemetery photo shoot. We had a photographer
Ooh.
and we went to one of those cemeteries. So, yeah, I need to order my photos because they were so cool. Oh, it turned out so awesome. I would definitely, if you ever go back, like just to, if even with your husband, just go and get like couples photos in a cemetery. It's just it's just so neat, because you have that beautiful big mausoleums and then they have like the moss and stuff that grows on them and
Yeah, we
it's just
did
such a vibe.
when I went to the Midwest with my friends out there, we did a photo shoot in the cemetery with all of us girls, and it was freezing, but we had such a good time, and they turned out beautiful. It was a lot of fun, and we're all respectful.
Yeah.
We don't wanna rub anybody
Yes.
wrong, but we find beauty there.
It is so interesting and it's so beautiful. Was that recently when you were out there to visit the penitentiary?
Yes. Yes, yes.
It's so cool. I mean, I went to college in Kansas. I went to the University of Kansas, because, Kansas is right next to Missouri.
Yeah, right there.
And I didn't know anything about that. I mean, I was there when it was, because you said, when I was listening to that episode, you said that it closed down in what, 2004 or
Mhm.
2005?
2004.
Yeah, so that's during the time when I was in college, but I didn't know anything about it. I mean, because I was wrapped up in, my college
Right.
world. That was a fascinating episode. I really enjoyed listening to that.
Thank you. I recorded that 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so the first time we did it, we did audio only.
Hmm.
I was like, "Daniel, I really want video for this one. This one's important to me." And so
Hmm.
we tried again and something happened, and then I got flustered and we stopped, and then we did it again and it worked, but then I went and I realized some of the information that I had was not accurate. It wasn't so much wrong, but the locations weren't in the right places. So I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay, no, 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 I gotta do this again." So 4th time was a charm. We did it, and then Jenny, she's one of the tour guides, she's gonna be coming on an episode to kind of fill me in on the things that I did not know. So I'm really excited about that as well.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. I just thought, I love that episode. And I was just thinking, like, how cool it was that, like, that was a place near where I went to college, in the
Yeah.
Midwest, and, I'm glad that you were able to do the graveyard photo shoot. That sounds really fun. Yeah, I can never get enough of those kinds of experiences, truthfully. I know people are like, "You did what?" I'm like, "Have you met me? Hello."
I know. I know. Have you not been listening? Have you not
I
paid
know.
attention?
I know, like, where have you been? Like, obviously, like, of course. Yeah, even in Napa, we were driving through Napa and I'm like, "Oh, there's a cemetery." Oh, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Ashley, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." My
One of
friend, she bought like when we were together, she ended up every single day, my girlfriends, they wanted me to read their tarot cards. Every day they wanted me to talk to them about crystals. My friend ended up buying like multiple crystals while we were on our trip. She ended up with like multiple crystal books. I was like, "Okay, wow, we are just starting your journey. Okay, beautiful."
Yes. I love it. Yeah, I have a friend, Jada, she listens. Hi, Jada. She's gonna love it. She always texts me when she hears it. She's like, "Hey." Well, she was listening to today's episode, and it's some of my friends, You Two Scare Me, they're in Key West, and so Jada's listening and texting me, "Okay, I guess we're going to Key West next, but you go do the ghost stuff and I'll lay out on the beach." Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe, listeners could wonder like what the connection is potentially between crystals and paranormal. But I mean, I think a lot of times when we're thinking about it, it's not that there's this direct connection, but a lot of times, people that are in the paranormal community, they have, oftentimes they're very intuitive, they have psychic abilities, and crystals can help a lot with that. And not only that, but like we're also thinking about protection. I mean, I know that you lived in a haunted home. I grew up in a haunted house. And I mean, I didn't know about these things back then. Maybe it could have helped me. But even still now, I mean, I've lived in other places that are haunted. And I mean, I just think there's certain stones that can help with these things, and there's certain stones that can help kind of like open our intuition or things that
Yes.
we can work with if we have these interests. And that's the beauty of it. And I think that's kind of where a lot of it overlaps because I have a huge interest in paranormal.
That's how I got started with crystals because I was dealing with the negative in the house. Now he's not it's not like he was a demon or
Yeah.
demonic or anything. He was just
Yeah.
a crotchety old man, and I was trying to find a way to kind of protect my energy from him, and somebody was like I always say it wrong, but they're like, "Why don't you get some obsidian?" Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is it
You
okay.
did.
Yay! I
I
used
have
to not
obsidian
say it
right
right.
here.
Ah, yes. I have some up there too. But she's like, "Try that. That's supposed to help with negative energy, kind of block it, protect you from
Hmm.
it." So I ordered me a big old bag, I'm not even gonna lie, and I put that stuff all around the house. I had it
Hmm.
here, I had it there, and then every full moon, I go and find them all, put them outside, rinse them, put them outside, and then go put them all back because at that point, that was keeping me sane. And that's kind of how I got into it, which is a great segue because it's like, how do you, when people come to you and they're like, how do I begin into this journey? Like, what do you tell them? How do you direct them to start?
Well, I think a lot of it is there something that you're wanting to bring into your life? Are you dealing with a particular situation? I mean, you could be picking stones around those life things, but maybe there's nothing in particular. Maybe you just have an interest in it. And I would say, like, the biggest and best thing to do is just try to see if you can find a local shop. Just find somewhere that it's like a local metaphysical shop, crystal shop. I mean, most places that you live, there's one within an hour, usually. And go in there and see what kinds of things that you feel drawn to. Because what I really try to teach people about crystals is that you can look up crystals' meanings and what they're supposed to mean and all these different things, but maybe you don't feel that connection to it. Right. So, like, a lot of times people think of the big one I think about is rose quartz. Rose quartz is
Yeah.
supposed to be this crystal of love and relationships and self love. But if you hold rose quartz and you don't get that sensation from it, like, that doesn't mean that that stone doesn't work for you. Maybe it's just meant for you in a different way. Right.
Oh,
And so I think a lot of it is just going in and seeing the things that you like and that what you feel attracted to. And of course, there's always going to be these meanings and associations with different stones and what they're used for. But I also think it's really nice for us to form our own personal connection with a stone. And it
yes.
doesn't, and you're not doing it wrong if when you hold a stone, you don't feel the vibe of what it says on that little label at the store.
I
Does that
understand
make
that.
sense?
Yes, it makes complete sense because it's
Yeah.
all about intention and
Yes.
feeling and intuition. Like it's trusting how you're feeling with the object.
Absolutely. I'm curious when you were are you still living in that house or you moved out?
We moved out over a year ago.
Did you move out because of the ghost?
No, 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 no. We had some school
Okay.
stuff, so I would
Okay.
honestly I didn't once I was used to it, it was actually kinda cool to have that flex, like, "Hey, I got a haunted house. I got me a ghost upstairs." And we had fun. It was stories. It was an experience, and we all had our different experiences, and we would all be like, "Hey, what happened? Oh, the lights came on. Oh, your doorknob jiggled. Oh, and we would all because the kids were little when we moved there, and so it was very scary in the beginning, but as they got older, they got used to it, we got used to it, and we would joke, and then, it was kinda when we left, we're like, "It's different now that we don't have that energy." But now that I don't live in it,
Mhm.
I don't miss living in it because it's a different
Sure.
feel.
Sure. I think when you are interested in crystals, it can feel extremely overwhelming. And so one of the things that I do on my podcast, Big Crystal Energy, is that every week on Tuesdays, I release an episode about a specific stone.
Mhm.
And I talk a lot about, the history, the lore, and maybe finding your own personal connection to those stones. And they're like short bite-sized episodes, only like 15 minutes long. And maybe you like wearing a stone. It doesn't have to be that you have to like go out and get the biggest, flashiest piece. I mean, I have little teeny, yeah, like your bracelets, your malas, necklace, earrings. One of the most powerful stones that I own is a teeny tiny, little tiny piece. It's called an Apache teardrop. It was really the first stone that I ever got when I was a little kid from my dad. And to me, that feels like one of my most powerful stones because it carries like so much history to me. It's like something that I've had with me almost my whole life. And so that feels powerful. So you don't have to go
Yeah.
out and get like a big showy piece. It could just be something that's small that fits in your pocket. and it brings you back. Like, to me, like, the crystals are often something that just bring me back into myself and into what I'm feeling and into what I'm doing. And sometimes they can be these touchstones in life. So sometimes things get so chaotic in all of our lives or whatever. And it's like, okay, I need to calm down. Like, let me just go back and let me hold my stone and like remember what I'm here, what I'm trying to do, and just have a moment. It's really just about like taking a moment, taking a breath for ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I'm sure he still has it, but my dad always carried a rock in his pocket. And I think it was the same thing for him. It was that touchstone. It was that
Hmm.
reminder. It grounded him. And I don't know if he still has it because, I moved out 2 decades ago, but
Sure.
I'm sure he does because he's a creature of habit. So I'm sure if I went over there and I looked in his little place where he puts his keys and everything that he kind of holds, there would be that rock right there. I have to ask him. I'll text him when I'm done here and I'll be like, Dad, do you still
That's
carry that
very
rock in your
interesting.
pocket?
Yeah, and honestly, I mean that's something to think about too. I mean, if you're out and you're on a walk and you feel and you see a
Hmm.
particular stone on the ground that you like, that could be your stone. It doesn't have to be something that you get from a crystal shop. I mean, it's all this material that's made up of the earth, and
Right.
whatever you connect to is great. And I like that too. I have stuff. When we went to Iceland last summer, I got some
Ooh.
little stones and stuff there. I mean, I don't know what they're necessarily made out of, but and then some rocks and stuff because they have like all these rock beaches, and I know you're not really supposed to take the stones, but I had to take a few. It's okay. I didn't strip the beaches, people.
I won't tell a soul. Nobody will
Don't
never
tell
know.
anyone.
Shh, it's our secret.
I know, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I have to take a couple of these home." And they're probably just made out of the volcanic
Yeah.
lava, and it got smooth
Mhm.
over time as the water washed on the shore and stuff. But that feels really cool to me because, Iceland had been a lifelong dream for me to go there. I felt like I had to bring a little bit of it home. I don't know, maybe I lived in Iceland in a past life because I've been obsessed with that place almost my entire life, and it was really amazing to finally be there. But they have natural obsidian there from the volcanic rock. And so that was kind of neat to try to find little pieces of that as well.
Mhm. Well, my daughters think I'm crazy because I have saline over everybody's bedroom door and
Yeah.
over the front door, over the back door, anywhere there's energy just passing through constantly.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why do you do that? Why is that there?" And I'm like, "Listen, just it
Don't worry
makes
about
me
it.
feel better. Like, it just makes me feel better. Do you want me to take it down?" And I went to take it down, and they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay. Okay." I said, "If it makes me feel better and just gives me a peace of mind, and it makes you feel a little bit better, and you don't want me to take it down, then what's the problem? It's just sitting on top of your door. It's not doing anything." They just think I'm
I
weird, you know?
Well, of course, and that's what our children's jobs are to do, to think we're weird. But I agree. I mean, it's like if it's just like anything in life, really. If you feel a certain way about something and it gives you that peace, then
Mhm.
it's real for you, right?
Exactly.
There's really no way to prove these things necessarily. But
Exactly.
if you're open and receptive to it and it makes you feel a certain way, then I think it does work. I mean, I know for me, a lot of these things do work because, I mean, my life has completely changed because of it. So
Yeah.
I have literally nothing else to attribute it to. I mean, other
Right.
than just like a want and a desire for things to change, but then also like putting my energy and intention into these things, it really has made a big difference.
Well, it's like I tell my daughter is so my husband has 2 and then I have my 1. She's having the hardest time with my what I do now for a living, like, and what I talk about, and she's very conflicted. And she's like, "You wear your evil eye bracelets and your necklace and you have your crystals. I just don't understand, and, you don't believe in God." I'm like, I never said I didn't believe in God. I do believe in God. I also have other beliefs, and if I want to put a crystal over your door or carry them in my purse or wear an evil eye on my wrist, and that makes me feel safe and that makes me feel better and I'm not hurting anybody, why is it bothering you so much?
Mhm.
And it's just because it's different than what she grew up with, and it's not so much what I've taught her, but what she's learned outside of our house and other people. I guess
Mhm.
she's worried about what people will think of her because of what her mama does. But let me tell you something, she'll probably punch them square in the face if they talk bad about me.
Hell yeah, she would.
Both my girls would. Oh boy. I always tell them, don't. Somebody said, somebody's calling you psycho. Somebody's calling you weird at school. I'm like, I don't care. They're just scared of me. That's fine. They're scared of what I talk about because they don't understand it. It's fine. And they're like, well, I'm going to punch them. I'm like, don't punch them.
Ooh,
Please
let's not
don't.
punch.
Don't punch them, please. I said, "They're ignorant. It's fine. They just don't know. They're scared. It's that unknown. It's the ignorance that comes from unknown, and that's where the hate comes from. Punch them. Don't stoop to their level. If I have to come and pick you up because you've hit somebody, I'm gonna be mad."
I'm curious how it's been for you, as a person that's kind of exploring paths outside of, mainstream, how that has been just accepted in your life with your friends and family and things like that.
My family, like my sister's very supportive, which was interesting at first because she is scared of what I talk about for the most part, but she's very accepting. She's the one that bought me my bracelets, like my little crystal
Nice.
bracelets, and she just bought me some more for Christmas. She'll come over and we'll talk about it. My mom is like my biggest fan. She listens to every episode, but
I love that.
as far as the other stuff that I do, we don't talk about it. My dad we don't talk about it. Like he loves me. He's just going to love me through it. My husband is super supportive. Whatever I want to do, whether it's learn how to read tarot cards or go to a haunted museum or go to haunted hotels, he's like, let's go. Okay. My wife, I love her, whatever. I think my in-laws think I'm going straight to hell, and that's okay. It's fine. I just kind of laugh and smile, and I love them regardless. They're wonderful people. Friends are very supportive. My best friend, Heather, hey, Heather, she listens as well. She's like, let's go to haunted places together. And then Jada, of course, she's very supportive, and Emily as well. I think their husbands are a little scared of me, but that's okay. Healthy fear is good, And those are the most important people to me. So those are really, truly the only ones that matter other than my children. And two of my kids think I'm really cool. And then my daughter I think she prays for me before she goes to bed, which is fine. I love it. I tell her I want her to pave her own path when it comes to religion and spirituality. I'm not going to influence her. I'm so proud of her. She was baptized this past year. I was so proud of her watching her make that decision. If that's her path, then that's okay. I love her and I'm proud of her. And if she decides to grow with spirituality later on in life, I'm right here. So, everybody for the most part has been pretty good. People are going to judge no matter what. So you might as well just do what makes you happy because they're going to talk about you no matter what you do.
100%. 100%. I think sometimes it can be hard initially to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to follow what you love. I mean, my husband, he sounds very similar to yours. He's just like, okay, I'm not really sure. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't really think I believe it. But I think I had heard you say on another episode, like your husband's like very, he's very science and he doesn't
Yes,
believe it unless he sees it. I'm like, and you had said like, well, you don't see the wind. And I'm like, well, it's like, yeah, exactly. But I'm like telling my husband, but you like to go to church and you believe in God and you go and the body becomes the blood becomes the wine
right.
and that stuff. So I don't understand how that's really all that much different. I
Exactly.
really don't.
Exactly. And, something I've learned other than my husband and people that interact with or impact my life directly, we don't even talk about it because it's okay to disagree. It's okay not to completely understand. And it's not even worth fighting over because at the end of the day, I love them. I don't love them because of their beliefs. I love them because of who they are as people and how they make me feel. And if they're going to make me feel bad, then they don't love me for me. Bye.
That's right. That's true. That's so true. I mean, I think the thing that I've really learned, especially I think in the past year, is that the more that I have accepted that this is who I am and this is my path and these are the things that I love and enjoy and they make me like a very happy person. I really feel like this very like spiritually connected person. Instead of people feeling scared or put off, actually I've attracted a lot more incredibly wonderful
Yes,
people into my world that would have never been there otherwise.
exactly. Exactly. And it's so crazy because I've told my family too, like Daniel and the kids, I'm like, I finally feel after all these years, I'm 41, I just turned 41. After all these years, I finally feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And like I'm heading in the right direction. I don't think I'm there yet, of course, but I think I'm finally finding my stride because I never felt right in the court. I was very good at what I did. I excelled at everything.
Mhm,
I've always been one of those people that if they're going to do it, they're going to do it
mhm,
to perfection. I've always been good at everything I've done, but it hasn't fulfilled me.
mhm.
This is fulfilling in a different way than just being good at my job. It fills my cup in a way that I've never experienced before, and I love it, and you're so right, and it brings people and it also brings people that
Mhm.
you don't want in, and it's a learning lesson. Those are lessons
Sure.
that you have to learn just like anything else.
That's true. I mean, you have more years under your belt than I do, and you're probably dealing I mean, I think I mean, the paranormal, there's a lot of things that fall under that category, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
you're gonna be I mean, it's kind of like a large umbrella for, like, a lot of things. So
Yes.
your exposure to a lot of different kind of people, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. And I'm learning. I am learning, and I have to remind myself this in the field of area that I've chosen to work in, I'm gonna meet a lot of different people. Different doesn't mean bad, but I'm
Mhm.
learning how to trust my intuition, and that's
Mhm.
been hard for me because I'm such a give them the benefit of the doubt, and this year, 2026 is the year that I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. If my intuition says, "Stop, don't pursue," I'm going to listen and stop and not pursue because I've gone against it and I have learned a lesson.
Absolutely. That was the intuition, that was my word of 2025, and I was like, "Okay, I'm really gonna trust myself," and it was a very successful year. I know a lot of people were like, "I can't wait for 2025 to be over," and I was kinda like, "Well, I thought it was a great year."
It was very transformative. That's the word.
Very
That was my word,
transformative.
transformative.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So, I how did you I mean, I'm curious, like, with your podcast, like, how did you decide to do a podcast? I mean, because I figured out I wanted to do crystal podcast because I was learning so much about it, but I didn't really know where to, like, put all that information. Like, I really wanted to do something with it, but I didn't wanna just do it in a traditional sense.
Well, it's kinda like you know, you learn something starts happening, and you wanna talk about it, and you don't know where to
Mhm.
talk about it, and you're like, well, I like podcasting." And so, I
Mhm.
was in my haunted house having all these experiences. My husband wasn't believing me. We weren't talking about it to the kids at the time because they were, like, 9 and 10, and it was like,
Sure.
"I need to talk about this. I feel crazy, but I know people have haunted stories. I know people have lived in haunted houses. I know other people have experienced this." And so that's how I got started. And then I had a huge imposter syndrome moment where I was like, nope, I can't do that. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm suck. It was all those negative. And then I went
Sure.
to the Crescent Hotel and it was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I started back up and it's kinda changed. I used to only do ghost stories. When I went to the Crescent Hotel, I was like, "I love this place, and I love the history, and I wanna tell people
Mhm.
the history because there's so many people that don't know the history about it." And then so it's kinda morphed into haunted stories, to haunted locations, to collabing with other people in the community, and now
Mhm.
it is just this ghost gossip is truly gossiping about everything paranormal related. I mean, just talking to people and learning about anything and everything, and I love it, and I've learned so much, and that here I am, and it's grown, and I cannot wait to see where 2026 leads.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, it's so interesting because when I started Big Crystal Energy, I thought that initially, I mean, the plan was that I was basically going to take like all this knowledge from the crystal healing and all that I had learned, and there were there's really not that many crystal podcasts out there. So I thought, well, I can like take this knowledge and I can do it in my own way. But
Yes.
very soon I realized that there was so much else to talk about and that I could just really just start exploring all of these things and kind of weaving it all in
Mhm.
and just having it under that bigger umbrella. So, I mean, my podcast, we talk about all kinds of different stuff. I mean, I have people come on and talk about palmistry and Akashic records and, you know, all different kinds of stuff. And so there's just so many different ways that you can they're like that are crystal adjacent, right? So
Yes.
it's like, you know, it's all within that, but we can talk about a lot of different things because we can't just talk about crystal cleansing and crystal charging and crystal acquisition and all of that stuff all of the time. There's just so many other interesting facets
Yes.
and roads that we can travel down. And I have friends and they're just like, well, don't you ever run out of things to talk about? No,
Nope.
never.
Nope. I mean, well, and that's funny. We talked about I have made a post on my story about, here's this rock for my protection, my favorite crystal for my protection. It's a brick in my purse. And you're like, we're going to talk
I
about
love
that.
I love that. It's so funny. That's hilarious. I
I
remember
know.
that. Yeah.
That was
Well, you
funny.
know,
I mean, yeah, it's a rock. And I love it because it's like it holds energy. And, if I need it, it'll hold energy right into your head, whatever. Ghost gossip does not promote violence.
I love that. Yeah, no, seriously. Oh my gosh. I love when people, I mean, I'm sure you experience this a lot too. Like people always see like these crazy like ghosty things and they always send you stuff about it, because you're the go-to for that. And it just like lights me up when people send
I
me
love it.
like silly crystal memes and stuff. I mean, yeah, they're kind of like making fun of me, but I mean, that's still fun too, right?
Yeah, a little what is it? A little mild roasting is not a bad thing. I
No.
my husband and I roast each other, and I think my girls get confused because then they think they can roast him and that they
Sure.
can roast me, and we're like, "No, no, 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 no. No, 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 no,
That's
no,
for the
no, no."
adults.
We're like, just messing when you're with your friends, your equals, you might do that too, but you cannot roast your parents like this because they don't know when to stop, and they just start, like, really like, it gets real, real, real fast, and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah, they go
oh,
fast. Things go
oh, yeah.
downhill fast with those little ones.
Oh, yeah, 13, 14, and 15. Yes,
Oh, they're
ma'am, they
right at that
do.
age.
Oh,
The
yeah, they know
hormones are
every
flying.
Oh, yes, there are. Yes, it's fun in my house. We have a lot of hormones in this house.
I bet you do. I always like my 9-year-old, I'm like, "Why are you acting like a preteen? You're only 9. You're not even preteen. What the heck? I thought I
"You have
had
a few
time."
years. Sit down.
I know.
Calm down."
It's wild.
So, how do you cleanse your crystals? Because I know I had done something, you're like, "Man, if I had to find all my crystals and put them out," like,
Oh, yeah.
how do you
For
handle,
me,
like
yeah, no, I mean, I have a lot, so I have a lot, and no, I mean, sometimes, like, some of my favorite ones, sometimes I'll take them outside and, like, under the full moon, I'll put them outside and I'll cleanse them and charge them. But for me, the two biggest things that I do are smoke cleansing or sound cleansing, just with a bell or with
Oh,
incense or Palo Santo or something like that. That's the easiest way for me to do it. I'll just walk around and ring a bell around them or just smoke cleanse them because otherwise it would be kind of out of control if I
yeah.
tried.
Yeah. That's where mine's getting. It's getting a little to the point where I'm like, "I gotta figure out another way."
Yeah, I mean, because it can be a lot. I mean, as far as like trying to collect everything, and then like I remember one time I was like trying to put everything on like a. I was going around my house and I was trying to put them all on like a cookie sheet, and then I'm like trying to haul the cookie sheet out into the backyard, and then my son is like trying to set them up on the like out on the back patio, and then he's like ringing a bell real hard, and I'm like, wait a minute, this just doesn't. I feel like this isn't really quite the vibe that I was like the dirty cookie sheet. Like this isn't quite the vibe I was going for here. Okay.
Your crystals were like, "What is happening?
What
Where's
is
this energy?
happening?
What is this? What is going on?
Where
There's a
did
lot happening."
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, now where were all these set before? And now what? But that's the easiest thing for me. And I think that, there's tons of different ways that you can cleanse your crystals. I mean, I've done like full episodes on like probably 20 different options that I give people. I mean, some you can like bury in the ground or there's like lots of different techniques. If you only have a few, I mean, if you don't have a lot, I would say just you can burn some incense around it. You can do your bell, take them out under the full moon. I would say those are just the easiest. Those are the easiest options. You don't have to go wild. There's like a lot of weird things. Like sometimes people will like put them in their freezer. You have to be very careful though, because some like your selenite tower, you don't want to get some options are like water cleansing and things like that. Like you can get some stones and like if you get them in a shop and you're like, let's say you're on an island in Hawaii or something, you go out and cleanse them in the ocean. But stones like selenite, or I have this piece here, which is another really beautiful one. It's called blue halite. It's almost like a salt. If you get it wet, it could damage it. So you have to be real careful with some of them. You have to be really careful with some of them. So that's why I say
Okay.
it's just universally easier just to do like these simple techniques or maybe you're a great singer. You could sing to them too. They don't want to hear me singing, but
Mine either. Mine are probably like, "Oh, no. No, 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 no. We have to
oh,
hear it when she's sitting in her studio editing. No, please, no.
love
Enough.
your studio. You have
Thank
the
you."
cutest studio. It's so adorable. I'm working on redecorating my house on the other side of this room so that I have a nicer place to record. I can't wait. That's like a big project that's actually going to start this week. So I have someone coming
Yay!
over and starting that project this week. Yeah, I'm super pumped. It'll be so
Congratulations.
much nicer to have like a cool background rather than just like, I'm
Yeah,
in my
I get it.
guest room. We have
Well,
to start somewhere, right?
exactly. Well, and that was kinda like this when we were in the other house, our haunted house. I had a studio in the basement. They had 2 different rooms, and we turned one into a studio, and it was perfect. And moving, I was really bummed because it didn't have that space here. And my husband's like, the attic space would work great. So together, we closed it in and we paid somebody to do the sheetrock because this is a wall right here and it's
Uh-huh.
slanted like this. So we could not do that. So I paid somebody to do the sheetrock. But yeah, we laid the floor. I did pay somebody to paint because this girl's not going to paint. My hands hurt. But because it's small,
Oh, I'm
it
not gonna
wasn't too
yeah, I'm
bad.
paying someone to paint too.
Yeah. My hands just don't I'm not young anymore, and every time I'm like, "I can paint," and then I paint, and then I'm like, "I can't paint." So, yes, thank God I was able to pay somebody. He came in, he was done in, like, 2 hours. It was great, and then I've been decorating it. So this wall right here is just, like, all art, and it's just like a big collage wall, and then the case
Mhm.
has all my, like, woo-woo stuff in it, and it's got just memorabilia. I got art that people have made. Like, I try to have different knickknacks, and then my books up here, and it was just so fun. It was like this vision that I watched come to life after the
Mhm.
space, and I was like, once I have a space, that's when I know, like, I am showing the universe I'm serious about this. This is what I wanna do, and I stopped saying, "Well, I have a podcast." I'm like, "No, I am a podcaster."
I love that. Yes.
Clock it, as my girls would say.
Mhm. It feels good to say that though, huh?
It does, and, it always kinda trips people up because I guess I don't look the type, and I'm like, "What does one
What
look
does
like?"
Yeah, what does one look like?
You know? So,
I was in Salem on a retreat back in September, and I was ta I
this
mean, it was
past
all women
September?
that I What? This last September, yeah.
I was in Salem this past September.
You were?
What day were you in Salem?
In the beginning, like, it was the beginning of September.
Okay, we were in the middle.
Oh, you were in the middle. Yeah, and I was at this retreat, and it was all these women I had never met before, and they kinda like, one night, we were just kinda sitting around the table, and they're, like, kind of called me out, and they're like, "You always, whenever you talk about your podcast, you always kinda, like, minimize it. Like, why do you do that?" And I was like, "Oh, shit. Like, I'm not gonna minimize it then. Like, no,
That's
you're
right.
right." And ever since then, that really, like, for people that don't know me to see me in that way, I was like, "Yeah, actually, this is what I do, and it is a huge part of my
Oh,
life."
that gave me chills. That gave me chills.
Yeah, it was so
I love it.
cool. Like, they're like, "You don't need to you stop saying that it's just your little thing. Like, this is obviously something that you're very passionate about. So just own that energy." And I really I came back from that trip and I felt like, "Okay, it's go time now."
Exactly. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about because I was the same way. I'm like, "This is mine. I've built it. I've created it, and I am pursuing it." And I did the same thing. I minimized it, and I was like, and I was kinda scared. Well, when I worked for the feds, I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't have a face on it because I could not bring impropriety to the court. So any appearance of impropriety, I was pretty much banned from doing, and this could be looked upon as impropriety to the court by a judge or somebody else.
Interesting. Wow, that's
So,
fascinating.
yes, yes, like when I took my position when I was 25 years old, I took the presidential oath when I entered office. Like, it was a big deal, and so we were held to a very different standard, and because I was working with and for the judges, and so this had to remain faceless, and it was very hard to build without putting a
Oh, I
face
can
on it.
imagine. I can imagine it would have been very hard. I mean, I think I'm fortunate in the fact that, in my regular job, I mean, my coworkers, what's wonderful is that I do hand surgery mostly. And so that is like all day, me and my surgeon and my coworkers, we just get to sit around and yap about my podcast and all my kooky guests and like all the cool stuff that,
I
that
love
I
it.
do. And it's so like, it's enjoyable. Like there's no restriction. Like I can do what I want to do in my own personal time and that's fine. And people, well, whether or not they admit it to me or not, they do accept it. It's
Yeah.
been, yeah, I mean, that too feels freeing. I don't have to hide it because I know other people that are building businesses and things like that where they feel like they can't let their corporate job know about it until they're like out of that position.
Yes, and see, my work knew, but they kinda so, I'm in the South, so it was bless her heart. We gonna
Oh,
pray
bless
for
her heart.
her. Go
I
ahead.
pray for you.
Please pray for me. I will take all the
Please do.
prayers. I'm good. Pray for me. That is not an insult. You might mean it as an insult, but I will take it. So and so, yeah, there were some of them that were really great. There were some of them that were scared, and I understand, and I don't judge, and I didn't force myself or my beliefs on anybody. I respect it. That's okay. That's what's so beautiful
Mhm.
about it. I don't have to, and this is something I'm trying to teach my daughters, just because we disagree doesn't mean we hate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
had a hard
I mean,
lesson of
I
that
know a
last
lot of
week.
people don't. A lot of people probably think like the things that I talk about are kooky or whatever, but I mean, but that's fine. We don't all agree or believe in the same things, and that's fine. That's great. I mean, that's what
That's right.
creates that's what creates the richness of life and the color and the diversity and like all the things. Like it would be so boring if we all believed the same things and we all had the same spirituality and we all, that's not
Yes.
what makes life fun or interesting.
Yeah, I had a guest a few weeks ago and he asked a question kind of around those lines. If the paranormal or spirituality or ghost or whatever could be known by every single person and something experienced by every single person, would you want it to be? And I was like, that is a good question. I never thought of
Oh,
it that
that's a
way.
good question.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
was Liam from the Spooky Shed podcast. And I was like, I don't know. And he's
I
like,
don't
"Think
think I
about it."
would.
Right, and he said, "I don't think so because if it was, then we wouldn't be here talking about it. It would be just as common as anything else."
That's why I like having, it just feels like it's something that's just a little bit. I mean, it's not secret, but it's kind of like a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like the word occult. I mean, occult basically means like hidden or secret. And I like that, because it's just like a little bit different.
Yeah, and that word scares people.
Oh, it does. It does, but they don't know what the word means, right? They
No.
only
Yeah.
attribute it to negative things, but actually it's just a word that means like hidden or secret.
Yeah. And I love my tarot cards. I really do. And when I get read for filth by my own tarot cards, I'm like, "Oh, man."
Damn.
And I try to be like, "Okay, I need a clarification card." Swords. I'm like, "Damn it."
Yeah. My friend she kept pulling the swords all weekend and she was kind of like going through a crisis over the weekend. I was like, girl, it's a sign. It's a sign. I don't know how many more signs you need. When every card you pick is the same darn thing, like it's a sign here, friend.
I know. I was talking to my friend Jessica. She's a psychic medium. She's in Virginia, and she pulled for me 2 swords, I believe. 1 or 2, I can't remember, but it was 2 sword cards, I think. I have to look at it, and she just kinda looked at me, and I'm like and then I pulled one, and I pulled a sword, and I was like, "Damn it. Okay,
Ooh, the
I
lessons need
hear
to be
you."
learned.
Yes. Hard lessons are being learned right now.
Absolutely.
So, just curiosity, because I had somebody ask me this not too long ago, and I was like, I have an interview with Ashley from Big Crystal Energy. So, I'm going to ask her this because, I don't know. She asked me, how do you know, like, if you're shopping online for a crystal, just how do you know, like, if you're buying off an online shop, how do you know if it's genuine or what do you need to look for from, like, an online dealer, like Etsy or
It can be
something like that?
I would say the main thing is I wouldn't recommend shopping on Amazon. Don't buy your crystals on Amazon. There are definitely places that are more reputable, or go to a local shop that can guide you, because it's very hard to tell sometimes, honestly. There's no one way to know if what you have is real or if it's not. I mean, so I would suggest trying to find a local shop. The other thing is, my friend, she was wanting to buy some specific stones this weekend, and I sent her to a shop that I'm personally familiar with, that has very high quality items. But it's very hard to tell sometimes because there's not one single way to necessarily know.
Right.
I just say like avoid the big box stores like the Amazons or whatever. I was teasing my friend this weekend because she said she bought something from Walmart. I was like, girl, I don't even know if what you're gonna get is real. Why would you buy
I
crystals from Walmart?
didn't even know
Seriously.
Walmart had crystals.
I did not either. Apparently they have a very extensive online shopping. I'm like,
It is probably the same vendors of Amazon.
it probably is. It is very tough. It's very tough. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I don't know. I mean, you can find different vendors on, like, some of the people, like I found vendors just even through like Instagram that do live sales out of shops, and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're sourcing from, like, have it's like direct sourcing from where the people are mining the stones. So that's going to be a little bit more legit. But sometimes it's hard, you have to really do your research. But I mean, typically, if you're just getting some of the more basic stones, you're probably going to get legitimate stuff.
Well, good. That makes me feel better.
It's going to be a little bit more challenging if you're going to want to be real specific if you're going to be trying to buy stuff that's like this blue halite. This
Mhm,
is a very special stone, but I got it from a really special crystal shop in San Jose del Cabo, which is near Cabo San Lucas. But
mhm.
it's like a very reputable crystal shop, and they only had like a few pieces of this in the shop. So, if you get it from somewhere like that, you know that you're getting like a real piece. But I mean, for the most part, it can be tricky.
Yeah.
But I would say just start with tumbled stones. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on big expensive stuff to start with.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. I love crystal shops. I love metaphysical shops. Every time I find one, I'm like,
So
I want to
fun.
go in there.
You got to get the incense.
Yeah.
You always need a new journal. You always need
Yeah. Always need something in there. I can always
you always
find
need something.
something I need.
Absolutely.
I
Every
don't know what it
time.
is yet, but it will tell me.
It tells you. Those places are the best. And like Salem, oh my God. Like I
Oh,
literally spent like all my life, like I spent all my money in Salem this last year. It was like, oh shoot, dang. I had to like take an extra suitcase of crap to bring back. I was like, I'm going to scoot this in the house and like hide it up in my I call this my witch room. I got to hide it up in my witch room before my husband sees all the things that I bought.
he'll never know. He'll never know.
Because he never knows. I mean, I have like 1,000,000 crystals. So if I bring home 1,000,000 more, is he really going to notice?
Nope. Nope. Unless he starts counting. If he starts counting, it's time to go out to dinner or watch a movie. Be like,
Yeah,
let's do something else, honey.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, this was so much fun.
So
I
fun.
I thank you so much for taking the
Oh,
time,
yes. My
and
pleasure.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we got to do this. I've been looking forward to it, and you're
Me
like my
too.
third interview of the new year, and 3 is one of my favorite numbers. So I'm
Oh,
like,
I love that.
yes, it's my birth number or it's my life number.
Oh, it's your
3.
life number. You know
Mhm.
what? As woo woo as I am, I don't even know what my life number is, but that's awesome. The third one of the year. Are you the first? Yeah, you're the first person that I've talked to this year so far. So this is exciting. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
like, what day of the, what day are
What?
we on?
That's so funny because I almost asked somebody today, "What day is it?"
Yeah,
But
it's been kind of wild. I worked over Christmas. Like I had to work on call at the hospital over Christmas. So I think that like that like threw off my whole rhythm of like the
yes.
whole new year. And so now hopefully, now starting this week, it is Monday today. I'm finally going to get back on track.
Perfect. Perfect. Tell everybody where they can find you. If they want to come and look at your page and listen to your podcast, where can they find you?
Okay, so my podcast is Big Crystal Energy. It's everywhere, all platforms, and I'm most active on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash. I do have a Big Crystal Energy podcast Instagram, but I don't really use it that much. So at mystical.mama.ash, that's where you can find me. And I would love to chat with any of you guys. Ever have any questions about crystals or where to get them or what to do with them? I have like over 100 different episodes all about this, all about it. So
Love it. I love it. You're doing such a great job. And I'm so glad we connected last year. I was going to say
yes,
this year,
super
but it
fun.
was last year.
Last year, technically, yes. It was so fun. I think I originally found you because you had interviewed John Kozik of the Salem Witchboard Museum,
Yes, I
and
did.
I interviewed him this last year myself. And I was like, okay, well, what questions did she ask him? And then what can I ask him? He's so sweet,
He's such,
so knowledgeable.
yes, I was about to say, his knowledge base is so huge and he's such an excellent storyteller. I could have
Mhm.
just listened to him for hours.
Absolutely.
Did you get
Someone
to
told
meet
me
him?
that they were like, wow, that episode about Ouija boards. They were like, that was just the most wholesome episode about Ouija boards I've ever
Right?
heard. I was like, well, it is.
Well, and that's why so this is the Five Below one, and it,
I have it too.
$60. It's cute, and
It's
so
so
after
cute.
he kinda reassured me, made me feel a little bit better, so I went out and got one. My daughter was so mad at me. She was like,
Really?
"Mom."
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Lord, yes. So it's not open, but it's cute, it's back there.
So
It
cute.
finally made it into the studio, and nothing horrible has happened,
And
so
you
look at
feel
that.
fine. You feel just fine, don't you?
That's right, and, like, he reassured me, and it really helped. He's such a great guy. And
Hmm.
shout out to Anthony Ghost Guy on TikTok. He introduced me to John, and he knew him because they both live in that same area. So that's how I met John. And I got
Oh,
to meet him when I was in Salem. He's really great.
yeah, me too. Yeah, that's so fun. I love that. I love meeting podcast guests in real
Yeah.
life. That is like a true joy.
It's like, I know you already. Come here.
Yeah, so maybe one of these days our paths will cross and we'll get to meet in real life.
I
Because I
hope
want to go to
so.
like one of these paranormal conventions. I just discovered that they have one in Sacramento, which is like 45 minutes from me in May. So I was like, ooh, I should go.
You should. You should.
Yeah.
I'm going to my first one in June, and it's in Arkansas. It's June 6th. And then somebody reached out to me not too long ago, and I'll be at the one in Brunswick, Georgia in July.
Ooh, fun.
So I'm really excited.
Fun. Yeah, I don't even know what to expect, but I'm like, oh, it'd be fun. And I can, I love learning about this stuff. So
Same. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just going to show up and sit there with the table like, hey, I got a podcast. You want a sticker?
yeah, that's so cool. I
Well,
love
thank you
it.
so much. Guys, go find her, go follow her, go listen to her stuff. She's amazing. I'll have everything linked in the show notes. And while you are there, make sure you find me. Ghost Gossip Pod, Ghost Gossip Podcast, Ghost Gossip 24/7 at gmail.com. Until next time, they'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's our Ghost Gossip crossover. If you loved this conversation, go follow Ghost Gossip and leave Ashley a review. It helps this paranormal podcast so much. And if you're craving more crystal magic in everyday life, you already know where to find me, Big Crystal Energy, wherever you listen, and on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash or Big Crystal Energy Podcast. Until next time, stay protected, stay curious, and keep it a little spooky. Bye! Thank you so much for spending this time at the threshold with me. If you want to go deeper, follow me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash, where I share daily crystal magic and behind the scenes of this liminal life. You can also find resources, previous episodes, and ways to work with me at bigcrystalenergy.com. We're also on YouTube at Big Crystal Energy Podcast. And if this episode resonated with you, please rate it and review it and share it with a friend that you think would connect with it. It would mean so much to me and helping build this beautiful community of other magical friends and crystal workers. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.